It should go without saying that this review will have some spoilers about the movie Heaven's Feel Presage Flower, but there's two important things you must know about myself before I actually get into this little review. One, I am not a reviewer. This is my first time reviewing shit or anything like that. I don't usually watch videos about reviews on movies, video games, anime, anything like that. Nor do I read reviews usually because I'm the type of person that likes to go in without developing any biases from reading or watching reviews. So that's the kind of person I am. So whatever I talk about in this video, it's gonna be off the cuff. I don't have any script. I don't have any organization or anything. This is just me expressing my opinion about the movie. Second thing you must know is that I am a mongrel. In other words, I have never played the visual novel, the original VN for Fate Stay Night. Therefore, I do not have that kind of insight that some people have of like, oh, the film was very accurate. It got all the elements correctly. I'm not gonna do some compare and contrast action because I never played the visual novel. Therefore, I don't have that kind of insight. I'm just saying. So if you want that kind of review, I'm sure it's out there somewhere on Reddit or whatever. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm just a casual fan, letting you know how I felt as a casual fan about the movie. So with that in mind, just chill in the comment section. I know there's probably people already clicking off the video because I'm not gonna be that kind of person. Anyway, on to the damn review. If you've seen Fate Zero and Fate Unlimited Blade Works by UFO Table, you should already know that since this movie is done by UFO Table, that their animations, their cinematography, their attention to detail, their lighting, everything was done pretty much perfectly. Everything just visually, just looking at it, perfect. Like I could be literally sitting there with no idea what Fate is, no, have never seen an anime in my life, and just a total stranger just walks in and sees the movie. I would have intense orgasms in the eyes. That's how good the animations were. That's how good UFO Table is. If you've seen any of their work before, whether it's Kara no Kyokai, Fate Zero, like I said, Unlimited Blade Works, they've worked on the Tales series, both the video games and anime. They've recently done Token Ranbu. They've done God Eater, which unfortunately wasn't that great of an anime. But besides the point, visually, you'll notice that it's just top tier. They've received the name Unlimited Budget Works for a reason because their budget is must be godlike for them to be able to deliver that kind of animations to us. So of course, Heaven's Feel, Presage Flower. In terms of animation, 10 out of 10. I don't know if I'm gonna put ratings for each characteristic of the movie, but besides the point, animations, art, visuals, 10 out of 10, and it should go without saying. Music, I mean, it's Fate related. Music's usually good, so music 10 out of 10 as well. The story was a little bit slow paced at the beginning. Of course, it's the first movie of a trilogy for the Heaven's Feel route, so obviously they have to set up a lot of things before we could actually get to the actual action, to the actual juicy stuff. So the first, I'd say, 20 minutes of the movie is just character development with Sakura, Shinji, Emiya, those three characters mainly. A bit about Taiga and stuff like that, but it's mainly those three characters that get development. Especially Sakura. I did not know how she met Emiya. So it was nice to see how exactly they met, how exactly their friendship formed, and stuff like that. So we got a bit of insight on that, and also a bit of insight on the relationship between Shinji and Emiya prior to the events of Fate Stay Night. Apparently, they were actually good friends at first, but after Shiro dropped out of the archery club after an injury or something like that, I'm not sure exactly why he got out of the archery club, but he did, and that sort of strained their relationship somehow. Um, but it is what it is. One of my main concerns going into this movie is whether or not they were gonna have all that setup from Unlimited Blade Works, where Shiro stays after school, gets stabbed by Ku, Rin heals him, and then all that shit, which is like 45 minutes worth of content. I was scared that they were gonna show that shit again because I've already seen that crap from Unlimited Blade Works. I don't want to see it again, but I'm glad that they skipped all that beginning stuff with of course Ku killing him, Shiro summoning Saber later on, and Shiro and Shiro and Rin forming an alliance. I'm glad they skipped all that prologue stuff and got right into the stuff that's actually different about Heaven's Feel and Unlimited Blade Works. Unfortunately, being the first movie of the trilogy, it didn't have too many action scenes. It was still a lot of setup throughout the movie, but the one action scene, the one fight scene, I guess you could call it, whatever you want to call it, between Lancer and Assassin, true Assassin, as in Hassan. That fight scene, that was like around what 5 minutes worth of fighting, was just orgasms for the eyes for days. Going back to animation, that fight scene was probably one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in anime history. Just in general, in anime history, my I had erections throughout the movie. Don't get me wrong, I had erections throughout the movie, but that fight scene, I was dripping, just straight up. The floor was sticky. The people next to me were like, "Bruh, what are you doing?" And I'm just like, "Bruh, like I can't control myself. Like I can't." And then they look at me like, "Don't worry, dude. I'm doing the same thing. Look at the floor." And then there's this flood of semen in the theater. That's how good that fight scene was. That, I know that's a weird comparison, but I'm just saying that's how good that fight scene was. Probably the only thing that topped that was the two times that Gilgamesh showed up. If you guys don't know, Gilgamesh, my favorite character in the history of anything, whether it's anime, movies, manga, books, video games, it doesn't matter. Right now, Gilgamesh is at the top of my favorite characters of all time. So every time he showed up, even though he's not that big of a deal in this first movie, he might play a bigger role in the second movie. I don't know. Again, I didn't play the visual novel, so just based on the preview that they showed us, he's probably gonna play a role in the second movie. But from what we've seen of him, if you were in that theater with me, then if you remember somebody yelling Gilgamesh, that was probably me, because I fanboyed really hard, fangirled. I don't care what you say. Um, Even though the Lancer versus Hassan fight, made me ejaculate, right? The two appearances, or I guess three if you count the preview, the three appearances of Gilgamesh not only made me ejaculate, right? I was salivating. I was crying, not because I was sad. I was crying because of happiness. I was shitting myself. I was my earwax just popped out of my ears. I don't even know. Like I was sweating. Okay, that's a better term, I guess. I don't know. I was sweating. Just all my bodily fluid just left my body, bro. Except for my blood, because I would die at that point. I think I would die either way. But this is weird. This is a weird review. I've never done a review before, but here I am talking about ejaculating because of an appearance of a character for like 5 seconds. He only appeared for like a collective 30 seconds worth of footage, I'd say. 30 seconds, so he didn't appear that much. But this sets up the bar for the next movie, because I screamed that much for his his three appearances. So which he more than likely will, when he plays a bigger role in the next movie or two, bruh, it's game over. That Don't sit next to me, because your eardrums will explode. Your feet will be glued to the floor because of my fucking seminal fluids. I don't even know if that's the right terminology, but my fluids will be on the floor, sticking everyone around me within a 10 feet radius. Okay, I don't know, but besides the point, I just went on like 2 minutes of okay, yeah, Gilgamesh, 10 out of 10. Back on topic. Back on topic. We're gonna try to get back on track. There were a couple of other fight scenes. The one between, of course, Saber and Assassin. There was a little bit of fight between Zoken and Saber and Archer, but it wasn't as elaborate, as visually appealing as the one between Lancer and Assassin. That fight was just godlike. I will be honest. The story, you might be wondering, he's gonna say 10 out of 10. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10. And you might be wondering, why is it 9 out of 10? And why, like, you didn't really say anything that bad about, because of the way they marketed the film in terms of the trailers and the posters. Because in the trailers, it looks like Shinji is about to go in. He's about to go in balls deep with just the nuts hanging out. I thought Shinji was gonna play a huge role in this movie, like, as in he was actually gonna play a villainous role, something that you're actually like. I mean, he's still a villain, but I mean in a threatening way. watch the trailers and just pay attention to Shinji and Ryder. They make it look like he's an actual threat. Even in the movie poster down here, they make it look like he's an actual threat, like he's actually a big deal. But in this movie, he was just comedic relief. Pretty much, Ryder got destroyed within like 30 seconds. Saber destroyed her without moving her feet at all. She just grabbed Ryder's weapon and just slammed the shit out of Ryder, and Ryder was just automatically dead, just automatically, pretty much. And Shinji was just like, "Bruh, really?" Like I had this epic entrance. My feet was moving at 60 FPS. I was going in, like, bruh, and he lost. It's like I wanted a bit more. I mean, of course, for people who played the visual novel or already knows the story for whatever reason, you already know that Shinji was not gonna go in that hard. But from a casual fan's perspective, somebody who tries his best to avoid spoilers and stuff like that, I was expecting Shinji to go in, but that didn't happen. So I would say that's the only thing that I found about this movie is my expectations about Shinji was not met. But besides that, everything else was fine. Again, if you were expecting like a professional ass review with like extensive analysis and stuff like that, nah, you ain't gonna get that here. You're gonna get just raw, uncut, unedited. That's not completely true. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple of cuts in this video, but other than that, I'm just expressing my feelings off the cuff. There's no script here at all. That's letting me know what to say. But this video is definitely gonna be demonetized for sure, because this was definitely not something family friendly, and I apologize for that. But if you're already familiar with my channel, you already know what I'm all about. Yeah. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Of course, comment down below and let me know what you thought about the movie if you've seen it. Of course, it should go without saying, do not put spoilers in the comments. If you put spoilers in the comments, I will make sure that your asshole will never be the same again. Just don't put spoilers, bro. This is terrible. And of course, subscribe to become a supporting character to me, the main character. Because without you guys, I'd be the only character. Right? Right, bruh? I know this is a terrible video. And I don't blame you if you cringe throughout this video, but bruh, that's the person I am. Bitches.